All mass movements deprecate the present by depicting it as a mean preliminary to a glorious future, a mere doormat on the threshold of the millennium.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man.
That's right.
Of the seed of man.
The word seed is sperm, and sperm comes through having sex.
It's shut out of your father's rod,
right.
To put it in layman terms, in his penis.
That's right.
That means a man put his penis in a woman and bust off in it.
Then the angel said to him, "Take out the entrails of this fish, and lay up his heart and his gall and his liver for thee. For these are necessary for useful medicines."
The rest of the chapters of the book of Esther,
Go ahead.
which are found neither in the Hebrew nor in the Chaldee.
Greetings, fellow worker slaves, podcasting at 128 kilobits from the Fortress of Squalitude, not far from the redneck Mecca. This is the Atheist in the Trailer Park podcast. I'm your host, Tucker. Professor Fuzznuts is just waking up from his nap. We'll see what happens with him, if he comes over, if he stays where he is. Yes, it's a podcast hosted by a guy and his cat. Get over it. This is a Biblical Apocrypha episode where I read a book or two from the Biblical Apocrypha. This week, I was joined by Heretic Woman from the Beyond the Trailer Park podcast. We had a bit of fun with this episode once it got to the part where Ezra decided to mansplain things to a woman who'd lost her only child. And yes, Fuzznuts did decide to join me. Good boy. And the opening bit was a quote from Eric Hoffer's The True Believer. Having finished the book, I'm stunned that it isn't better known, because it really does explain the rise of Trump, and I'm going to start using quotes from it for the opening bits fairly regularly. Even if we manage to dodge a bullet and not end up with President Trump, the conditions which enabled him to rise to prominence are still going to be with us. In 2020 or in 2024, we can expect a repeat of someone like Trump on the GOP side unless things change dramatically in this country. I don't expect Hillary will be able to do everything needed in such a short period of time unless she's got a Congress overwhelmingly controlled by the Democrats behind her. I don't see that happening. So my hope is that by using quotes from Hoffer's book, I can at least educate a few folks so that you can be prepared and educate others. I also want to give a big thanks to Dustin and Wesley over at the Atheist Nomads podcast for having me on as part of their streamathon to raise money for the Leukemia Society. They managed to raise almost $600, which isn't bad considering that it was a small affair thrown together in a bit of a hurry. They're hoping to do more streamathons with the money going to different charities, and I'll certainly try to participate in them, as it was a lot of fun. And yes, Fuzznuts once again was more popular than I. Everybody loves him when I go on a different podcast, and they get to see him, and they just coo like you wouldn't believe. Don't they, little shithead? The only other big news I have is that I got moved to a new department at work, and one which should result in my getting a raise in the near future. That's assuming I can manage to do the job well. Apparently, the machines in that department are a bitch to run. They've got me doing an easy job at the moment, but my trainer and I spent an entire day this past week trying to get the machine up and running before we were able to produce anything off of it. I imagine that once this job is done, they'll stick me with something even harder to run. Hopefully, I'll be up to the task. In the meantime, I'll just enjoy making boob tape. That's right. Boob tape. And I don't know if America will be joining me next week for the news episode or not. She recently had minor surgery, and And if she's feeling better, I believe she's planning on going camping next weekend in a remote area which has good star watching potential. So she won't be able to do the show if that's the case. I haven't figured out if I'll have a guest on or not to replace her. Okay, let's get to part of 2nd Esdras. Joining me to help me struggle through yet another section of Ezra is Heretic Woman from the Beyond the Trailer Park podcast. Say hello.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going fine. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent up here in the Great White North, which thankfully isn't white yet, so we'll keep it that way for a while.
Well, when do you normally get snow up there?
We could get it as soon as next month. The leaves are already turning.
Wow.
We've had snow for Halloween before.
Never really had that. It has gotten close to freezing here a time or two.
I'm getting out of here Monday. I'm on my way to Savannah where it's still hot. So get me the hell. I'm gonna be sore when I get back because it's gonna be fucking cold. But until I get there, I'm gonna go where it's warm.
I don't blame you. Okay. Well, I'll start. I'll read, I guess, 2 verses, and then you take 2, and we'll roll through this.
Okay.
He answered me then, and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and I have no idea what the fuck those signs were, because none of the shit before this made any sense, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Maybe it's the same signs they use in the Mormon temple. Secret handshakes.
Could be.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So it sounds like earthquakes and uproars, whatever the fucking uproar is.
Well, something that happens every day on the planet.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs.
And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. And when I read that, I'm hearing Monty Python, but I'd like to face the peril.
Yeah. I don't know what does because
well that peril was spanking a bunch of virgins, so I'm thinking that's why he liked it. But.
Yeah, could be, but I mean I can't recall any of the signs or anything like that might have been said. But
I think they're just meaning the earthquakes and quote uproar.
Makes as much sense as anything else.
Oh, maybe they're talking about the zombie apocalypse when Jeebus croaked.
Could be.
Then
shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits, and have not known me.
What in the fuck is despitefully?
I have no clue. Now, and what gets me is this was supposedly written shortly after the end of the Babylonian captivity. I mean, when I say shortly, I mean within 100 years after the end of the Babylonian captivity. And at that time, the Jews didn't believe in hell, really.
Okay.
You know, you were food for maggots. I mean, they sort of had some kind of concept, but not anything codified. That didn't happen until much, much later.
Yeah. Seemed a bit odd.
Yeah.
Okay. And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. So charitable.
Yeah. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Then answered I and said,
I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Wow. Yeah. The writing is terrible.
Yeah, and this is actually this is actually the cleaner section, because the previous ones were even worse.
Oh man, whoever translated this shit, either it's the crappiest translator ever, or the original was just like, you know, some guy who could like, hey, I can scratch stuff on papyrus. Woo.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
You got one line left.
I do?
Yeah, 16.
Oh. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. What the fuck does that mean? A wave is... Are we talking like droplets of water?
I guess.
Okay.
And he answered me, saying, like as the field, so is also the seed as the flowers be. Such are the colors also, such as the workman is, such also is the work, and as the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also, for it was the time of the world. I kind of understood part of that, but not really. And now...
Well,
what?
Go ahead.
And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. Well, of course not, because there was nobody there.
Yeah. You know, when I didn't have any damn humans, nobody said shit I didn't like. Wow. Not very omniscient, is he?
No.
Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them. Oh, did I miss one?
I think you did. You should be 19.
Okay, yeah. And now when I prepared the world... No, you said... Oh, that was 18. Ah, fuck. For then everyone obeyed... But now the manners of them which are created in this world that made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I like that, but he's like... Before I made people, nobody spoke against me because everyone obeyed. Well, who? Because there's no fucking people.
Yeah. And then he says, oh, yeah, everybody in this world are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and they can't do anything about it because they can't find the law.
Well, whose fucking fault is that?
Yeah. You know...
He's not the brightest bulb in the box, is he?
No, and you know, previously, in reading some of the stuff, you know, the most common refrain is, how the fuck could anyone believe this?
I know. But it's like, because it's like, it's words, it's the same reason people fall for Chopra. Because it's words, and it seems like it should mean something, and the fact that you just can't quite grasp what it means gives it an air of mystique.
Yeah.
I think.
That's good.
And I think that's why people fall for this shit, because they're like, well, yeah, because I should be able to understand this, but I don't, so that must mean it's from God, you know?
That makes as much sense as anything else.
Yeah. Okay, where am I here?
I think it's my turn.
Okay.
And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
That sounds like Noah.
Yeah. But
if it was made in vain, that's your fuck up, buddy.
yeah. Yeah.
Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers, where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only.
Yeah, well, this guy has been, like, fasting for 2 weeks now, so he's basically going out to starve himself for a third week. All kinds of crazy shit's got to be rolling through his brain.
Well, what kind of flowers is he eating, I'm wondering? Maybe a green-leafed variety? A large bud on it?
Poppies?
Possibly.
Poppies?
Ooh, poppies. That's, if we're eating flowers, that's gonna be, yeah, I'm thinking it's the poppies.
Yeah.
Yep. And pray unto the highest continually, then will I come and talk with thee. So I went my way into the field, which is called Ardath, and like as he commanded me, and there I sat among the flowers, and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of same satisfied me. Yep, it's poppies.
Yep. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Buddy's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, 7 days. Yeah, read yours. 7 days, man.
After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk before the Most High, and said,
O Lord, thou that shewest me... how the fuck do I say? O Lord, thou that shewest thyself unto us, thou wast shewed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treadeth, in a barren place when they came out of Egypt. And thou spakest, saying, Hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. Yeah, he's fucked up. He's fucked up.
For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances, and though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine. Huh?
Okay. Yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. And lo, it is custom, when the ground hath received seed, or the seed a ship, or any vessel, meat or drink, that being perished wherein it was sown, or cast into... Okay, he's got a ship and a vessel, but the vessel's not a ship. The vessel is a fucking cup, so what's a ship got to do with anything?
I have no clue. It does... I told you, this doesn't make any sense.
This is a hell of an acid trip, this guy is on.
Yeah. Now, where did you stop? 35. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That thing also which was sown or cast therein or received doth perish, and remaineth not with us, but with us it hath not happened so. What the what the fuck does that even mean?
He's talking about the thing inside you. I'm like, okay, what have you been up to, bud?
Yeah. For we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. So, probably a good idea not to take that thing since it'll kill you.
Yep. Notwithstanding, the law perisheth not, but remaineth in his force. And when I spake these things in my heart, I looked back with mine eyes, and upon the right side I saw a woman. And behold, she mourned and wept with a loud voice, and was much grieved in heart. And her clothes were rent, and she had ashes upon her head. And let me guess, everything bad that's about to happen is going to get blamed on her.
It could be. Wouldn't surprise me. Then I let my thoughts go that I was in, and turned me unto her, and said unto her, Wherefore thou weepest thou? Why art thou so grieved in thy mind?
And she said unto me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself, and add unto my sorrow, for I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. And I said unto her, What aileth me? Tell me.
Yeah. And this is definitely an acid trip.
Yep. It's the weeping widow.
Yeah. She said unto me, I, thy servant, have been barren, and had no child, though I had an husband 30 years. That's English good. And those 30 years I did nothing else day and night and every hour but make my prayer to the highest.
Well, there's your problem right there. You have to have sex. If you're praying 24/7, you're not gonna get pregnant.
Yep.
Just saying.
Gotta have a little of the old in and out.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Here and there.
And since there's 3 verses left, just go ahead and read all 3 of them.
Alrighty.
After
45. And after 30 years, God heard me, thine handmaid, looked down upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him. So was my husband also, and all my neighbors. And we gave great honor unto the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast. Okay, so why are we sad?
I don't know, but that's an odd place to end a chapter. You would,
yeah.
I mean, if,
So it took her 30 years to get knocked up. So she's got to be old, because it took her 30 years to get knocked up, and I'm assuming, her husband wasn't Muhammad, so she was over like 10. And her son's married, so he's got to be at least like 15. So she's got to be getting up there.
Yeah, because
unless this is the time where people live to be 950.
I have no idea.
In which case, she's whining way too early.
Yeah. Like I said, the guy who supposedly wrote this, and it's, this is one of those things where it's attributed to somebody and nobody knows who really wrote it. He lived like 30 years after the end of the Babylonian captivity. But he's written about things in this and the previous book that, somebody who wrote them would have had to live like 100 years. Cause like he was like 20 years before he showed up in Israel. So,
right.
And this is like 30 years later, so he would have been writing when he was 80. And so, and like
that's damn old for that time. That's really fucking old.
Yeah, well, and it's really weird because like at one point he talks about having a son, and at another point he talks about being a virgin.
Born again virgin, that's it.
Yeah.
We keep going here.
Well, I'll start the next chapter.
Yep.
But that's a weird chapter break. I mean, you would in fiction they would break it when he's talking about, and I saw a woman weeping. because that would give you some dramatic tension to go to the next chapter. This is like
she's got tore up clothes and got ashes all over the place, and like, what the fuck's up with that?
Yeah,
and then next chapter.
Yeah, but this I made a feast. It's not really a great page turner.
Yeah, because we're like, okay, so you got nothing to be upset about, huh?
Yeah. And so it came to pass. Drink in honor of David Michael.
Yes.
That when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died.
And this is why you have sex before marriage.
Exactly. And then we overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest unto the second day at night.
And it came to pass, drink, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. Then I rose up by night and fled, and came hither into this field, as thou seest. And I do now purpose not to return unto the city, but here to stay, and neither eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die. That's a little melodramatic, I'm thinking, lady.
Yeah, antidepressants would help that, I'm sure.
Have some of that opium shit. I think that'll help.
Yeah. Then I left the meditations wherein I was in, and spake to her in anger, saying, Thou foolish woman above all other, seest thou not our mourning, and what happeneth unto us? Well, that's a bit of a dick move.
Yeah.
You want to take the...
Oh.
Yeah, 7.
Was that? Oh, yeah. Sorry, they're short. How that scion unto our mother is full of all heaviness, and much humbled mourning very sore. What? And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness, art thou grieved for one son? Oh, so he's like, excuse me, but my loss is way worse than yours, bitch. So what the hell are you crying about? You only lost one kid. Like, come on.
We're losing the whole population of the earth almost. That's Mr. Compassionate there.
I told you he was going to blame her for something.
Yep. For ask the earth, and she shall tell thee that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. For out of her came all at the first, and out of her shall all others come, and behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out.
That sounds like he's talking about Earth Mother.
Yeah, well...
That's awfully pagan.
Well, this was... ostensibly written at a time when they hadn't quite become monotheistic. They were leaning that way, but they were still polytheistic. Or at least recognizing that there were other gods, even though they only worshiped their particular one.
Yep. Who are we at, 12?
No. 11.
11. Who then should make more mourning than she that hath lost so great a multitude, and not thou, who art sorry but for one? But if thou sayest unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth's, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bear with sorrows. Yeah, he's like, yeah, shut up, bitch. You only lost one.
Yeah, giving birth ain't that bad.
Yeah, look at the earth, man. Like, she's got to spit out people. Oh, man. This guy's a colossal dick.
But the earth... Not so, for the multitude present in it, according to the course of the earth, is gone, as it came. Then I say unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even so the earth also hath given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning, unto him that made her.
Yeah, except the earth can't feel pain, asshole.
Yeah. Well, and that's sort of like saying... she's bringing forth these humans so that they can be consumed by God.
Yeah. Who's the ultimate asshole. Then I say unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even... Is that the same one? Yeah.
Yeah. You started 15.
Yeah. Now therefore keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear with good courage what hath befallen thee. For if thou shalt acknowledge the determination of God to be just, thou shalt both receive thy son in time, and shalt be commended among women. So suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah. Go thy way then into the city to thine husband. And she said unto me, that will I not do. I will not go into the city, but here will I die. Well, she's like, fuck you.
Yeah. So I proceeded to speak further unto her and said, do not do so, but be counseled by me. Oh, of course, because I know everything.
Yeah.
Stupid woman. For how many are the adversaries of the Scion be conformed in... Let's do this again.
Okay.
Do not so, but be counseled by me, because I know everything. For how many are the adversaries of Sion? Be comforted in regard of the sorrow of Jerusalem. And the Sion would be Jebus, I'm thinking.
Probably. So...
Yeah.
Is this like the earliest recorded mansplaining?
I was just thinking that! He's like, I'm gonna mansplain you, bitch. Yeah, you be counseled by me.
For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed, our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence, our rejoicing is at an end, the light of our candlestick is put out, the ark of our covenant is spoiled, our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profaned. Our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are gone into captivity, our virgins are defiled, and our wives are ravished, our righteous men carried away, our little ones destroyed, our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. Now, this doesn't make any sense at all, because in the previous chapters to this, right, they have like 3 or 4 waves of people who go to Jerusalem from Babylon. They're sent by, Cyrus, Darius, and Xerxes. Okay?
Okay.
And he is with one of the waves. It's never really clear which one it is because it seems to change. And every time they leave Babylon to go back to Jerusalem, they're given all the wealth of Babylon before they go. They're told specifically to rebuild the temple. In fact, in the previous book, he was at the temple that after it had been rebuilt, lecturing people that they weren't godly enough, and that's why he's out there now, because God told him, you gotta go out, you gotta get out into the wilderness to hear my word so you can bring it back to these people.
Right.
So, he's basically saying, hey, look, it's a shithole, even though he knows from firsthand experience that everything has been fixed. I mean,
I think he's saying, well, because we had all this bad shit happen to us, even though it's fine now, I get to be, like, way more upset than you do, bitch.
Hey, that's the only thing that makes sense, because, I mean, literally, every time Darius and Cyrus and Xerxes send them to Jerusalem, they're told, it goes into long detail about all the valuables that they're given before they leave. And it's like, the first time it's a little suspicious that they would actually be given all the treasure of Babylon. But the second time you're like, okay, how is there anything to give them if they've already taken everything?
Yep. Now, the next verse, I think that's yours. That kind of confuses the Scion thing.
No, that's yours, because I just finished
Oh, you just did the monster one. Okay.
Yeah.
And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Sion hath now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And therefore shake off thy great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto thee again, and the highest shall give thee rest and ease from thy labor. So the Sion is a she? That's fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the Sion is just Israel?
That I guess.
I don't know.
And it came to pass, drink, while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance glistered. Glistered?
Listen.
Glistered. Not glistened, glistered. I want to go on like a glister in the sun.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up later. What the fuck is a glister?
Well, yeah. So that I was afraid of her and mused what it might be. Well, she's fucking pissed, you idiot. That's what it might
Yeah.
be. Sparkle. That's what glister means. It's an old version of glitter.
So she's from Twilight?
Apparently so.
Ew. Real vampires don't fucking sparkle, damn it.
Somebody, I wish I remember the exact word, but somebody's like, in my day, vampires didn't sparkle. They drank the blood of humans and they liked it, damn it.
Well, but listen to how she's like wearing all these dark clothes and they're all tore up and she's like all mopey and shit. Yeah. She's an emo fucking Twilight vampire.
And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman.
Damn. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more, but it was a city builded, and a large place shewed itself from the foundations. Then I was afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel, the angel, who came unto me at the first? For he hath caused me to fall into many trances, and mine end is turned unto corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. So she just morphed into a giant city?
Apparently so.
Okay, that's impressive.
Some good drugs.
She's a transformer. Transformer, Twilight, emo, vampire. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the movie Big with Tom Hanks?
Many, many, many years ago.
Well, he's like sitting there in the meeting and they're talking about doing their knockoff version of the Transformers, and it's going to turn from a robot into a building, and Hanks is like, I don't get it. It's a building. Who wants to play with a building?
Yes. Wow. Okay, then.
And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me and looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and mine understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said unto me,
What aileth thee, and why art thou so disquieted? And why is thine understanding troubled, and the thoughts of thine heart? Well, you took his understanding, asshole. Why are you asking him?
I just saw a woman turn into a building. I mean,
building.
What the fuck, man? What?
1 minute I'm talking, 1 minute I'm mansplaining, the next minute there's a fucking city. Like, what the hell?
What the fuck, man?
And I said, Because thou hast forsaken me, and yet I did according to thy words. And I went into the field, and lo, I have seen, and yet see, that I am not able to express.
Okay, then what the fuck was all this shit we just read?
I don't know, man. Oh, and that's the thing, though. He's like, why don't you understand when it just said, and the angel took his understanding from him?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you understand? Well, you took it.
And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise thee.
Don't stand up like no pussy now. Stand up manfully.
But he already picked him up and set him on his feet.
Yeah. He's like, okay, but he picks him up, and he's like, now stand there like a man, damn it.
Then I said, speak on, my lord, in me. Ooh. Only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Uh-huh.
For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Oh, is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? You're fucking high on opium, dude.
You've been eating it after 2 weeks of starving yourself.
You're sitting in a field eating poppies for a fucking week. What do you expect?
Yeah. You're lucky you're this sane.
You're lucky she only turned into a building and not, tentacle porn or something.
Now therefore I beseech thee that thou wilt show thy servant of this vision. He answered me then, and said, hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. Okay, so basically it's like, well, you're afraid? I'll fucking tell you why you're afraid. Boy, this really sounds like domestic abuse, I mean,
it does. He's like, Angel Uriel, help me. And he comes down and is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Stand up like a man. You're afraid? Well, let me tell you why you're fucking afraid, buddy. He hath seen that thy way is right. For thou sorrowest continually for thy people, and makest great lamentation for Sion. Oh, Sion is Jerusalem.
It has to be.
Has to be. This, therefore, is the meaning of the vision which thou lately sawest. In other words, he just chewed out himself because he is the woman.
Yeah.
So he saw a vision of himself because she turned into a city, and the city's Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Aha! Now I get it. So I didn't even have to smoke anything.
So that would mean he's God's bitch.
Yeah. And he was mansplaining himself. I don't think that worked very well for him.
Thou sawest a woman mourning, and thou beganest to comfort her. I wouldn't call that comforting.
I was gonna say, that's not fucking comforting. That's suck it up, bitch. You're not nearly as bad off as I am.
But now thou seest thou the likeness of the woman no more, but there appeared unto thee a city builded.
And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom thou sawest is Sion, and whereas she said unto thee, even she who thou seest as a city builded. Ooh, am I right or am I right?
Yeah. Whereas I say, she said unto thee that she hath been 30 years barren. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her.
Oh.
But after 30 years, Solomon builded the city and offered offerings, and then bare the barren a son. God, that is the fucking English.
Yeah. And whereas she told thee that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto thee that my son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fail and died, this was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. Oh, am I good or am I good?
You're
I so
good.
called that. That's an epic fail, I do have to say, though.
Yeah. I'm guessing this sounds better in the original Batshit.
I guess.
And behold, thou sawest her likeness. I'm sorry, but when I hear sawest, I think of cutting. I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her.
No, you didn't, you asshole.
And of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto thee. For now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved unfeignedly, and sufferest from thy whole heart for her, so hath he showed thee the brightness of her glory and the comeliness of her beauty.
And therefore I bade thee remain in the field where no house was builded, for I knew that the highest would show this unto thee, or shew it.
Yeah. Well, he didn't describe her as being comely at all.
No, he was like, she's all like grizzled and sad and tore up clothes and ashes and...
Yeah, and I mean, if she was, let's say, married at 13, and then it took her 30 years to push out a kid, and then that kid got, so that would be, she'd be 43 at that point, and then that kid was 13, that would put her at, 56?
Yeah, at the very youngest.
Yeah. So.
And like I said, unless her husband was Muhammad, then we got to recalculate.
Yeah. I was thinking that maybe, that she was going to say, my husband took our son up to the mountain and tried to sacrifice him,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Sarah or whatever Abraham's wife's name was.
I like this, though. He came into his marriage chamber and happened to have a fail. That's a pretty epic fail if you fall over dead, man.
Well, that happened to Genghis Khan,
That's true.
Of course, he may have been poisoned, but anyways.
Yeah. Right. Okay, where am I at? 51?
No, it's 50.
50.
It's 53. And it's 53, and it's my turn.
Your turn.
Yeah,
that's right.
Therefore, I commanded thee to go into the field where no foundation of any building was, and there were lots of poppies. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to shew his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. So
it was next to Swamp Castle?
I guess. We live in a swamp!
But the third one stayed up!
She's got huge tracts of land!
And therefore fear not, let not thine heart be affrighted, but go thy way in, and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes be able to see, and then shalt thou hear as much as thine ears may comprehend. So, it's not a fake building. He's telling him to go inside now.
Right, so basically, what probably happened was dude wandered out of the city, ate a bunch of opium, and then hallucinated his way back into the city.
Yes! Then he's like, walks up to the city. Wow, look at that babe. I'm going to go mansplain that bitch. And next thing you know, oh, wait, I'm talking to a building. How the hell did that happen?
All right. I'm going to take the last three since it's the end of the...
Okay.
For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the highest, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shall the highest shew thee visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another, like as he commanded me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, the hoops they go through to like get people to understand shit, for somebody who's omniscient, that seems kind of, I don't know, lame.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to understand that, you're mourning too much for Jerusalem and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to send you a vision of some weird woman for you to mansplain to.
Yeah, I don't know. Go out, starve yourself for 2 weeks, then go out and eat a bunch of poppies, and, then wander back to town and start talking to a wall.
It was the Wailing Wall. Those guys are all hooked up on opium. Shit, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Yeah, this will be the last one.
Okay. Then I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. That's some good shit he's eating.
It sounds like it's a King Ghidorah movie.
What the fuck is an eagle doing in the sea?
I don't know. And I beheld, out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small. Okay, the acid's definitely kicked in. But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. So he's scraping the stuff out of the pot pipe to try and get high.
Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and regained... Oh, sorry, let me do that again. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her, no, not one creature upon the earth. So the multi-headed eagle is more powerful than God now?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the 3 heads represents the 3 days after the winter solstice, when the position of the sun, as far as rising and setting, doesn't appear to change, and the 12 would be the signs of the zodiac.
Right,
So
that makes sense.
The significance of that.
Okay.
But why, it's brought up here and now, I don't know. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. Okay,
Wow.
the feathers...
She's talking to her people?
I guess. I don't know. I mean...
What? Okay, that makes absolutely no sense, but let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. I was bucking she was talking out her ass, but apparently not.
Well, considering they thought like rabbits were fish, or they chewed their cud or something,
bats are birds.
Yeah, they may have thought that her ass was in the middle of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. I don't know what the significance of 8 would be. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose 1 feather, and reigned over all the earth. So wait, now the feather is greater than everything else, including God and the eagle?
Apparently, so we should be worse. So our Native American folks have it right with the feathers.
It sounds like it.
Okay. And so it was that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. So we had 2 feathers that had a great time.
Party down.
How do feathers party? They flap around a lot?
I don't know. Then came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more. There shall none after thee attain unto thy time, neither unto the half thereof.
What?
I was hoping you would figure that out.
That's very Chopra, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Born rule over what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Then arose the third, and arraigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So went it with all the residue, one after another, as that every one reigned, and then appeared no more. So feather after feather. So we don't know, because it's not the 8 feathers, because he said the first one grew on its own.
Yeah, it makes no sense, because after the second one, he says there's not going to be any more like you. And then there were.
Drugs, man.
Yeah.
It's the drugs.
Then I Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think sober people are supposed to read this.
I think you're right. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood upon the right, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. What the...
I don't even know how the fuck feathers can rule anything.
Yeah, but this doesn't... better in the original bad shit.
Yeah. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. I thought there were 8 little feathers. This guy doesn't know how to fucking count. And then was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. So
it lost all its feathers and half its wings.
Yeah.
Which half?
No, I thought
top, bottom, left, right.
Good luck. I don't know.
Yeah. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6th, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the 4 continued in their place. What? There were no feathers?
Okay, so I'm assuming that the wings each have a feather?
I guess. I don't know. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves and to have the rule.
And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. I don't even know what to make of
I don't either. And
I still don't know how the fuck a feather can rule anything. It doesn't talk.
Well, and how can a bald eagle, I mean bald as in naked, a plucked eagle, produce more feathers when it doesn't have any? And where did half the wings go? I don't understand.
Oh, man.
And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awaked one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it was that was in their midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads. So the middle head woke up.
Yep. Okay. And then I saw that the 2 other heads were joined with it. I thought we covered that already.
Yeah.
And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned. So the last 2 is like, nah, fuck you, your lunch.
I guess. But this head...
So I was going to say, is it naked now? Really?
I don't know. Well, I thought it was before, and it turned out not to be. Maybe the same thing.
I want somebody to draw this shit. Like, somebody needs to do animated, like, eagle feather ruling thing.
Yeah. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. But there remained the 2 heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth and over those that dwelt therein. Huh?
I think you missed one in between.
I must have.
You did. You missed 33.
Yeah. But this head put the whole earth in fear and bare rule it. Let me start that one again. But this head put the whole earth in fear and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. Doesn't anybody proofread this shit?
They're all eating poppies.
Yeah. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. So it's now a two-headed eagle with half the wings gone and no feathers.
Yeah, because it ate the last feathers, okay. But there remain the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was on the left side. Ooh. Tasty.
Yeah. Then I had a voice. That's what it says. Then I had a voice, which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said,
Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? The fuck does that mean? I don't know how I would answer that question.
I don't either, because I don't understand what the question is.
I was like, hi, disembodied voice. Could you restate that in a language I understand, please?
Yes. And the fourth came. The fourth what? And overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
Okay. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore it is thy wrongful dealing come upon the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty.
Got me. I'll take the last three.
Okay.
The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
I have no idea what the fuck we just read.
that makes two of us.
Wow. And I thought Revelation was a good acid trip.
Yeah, this is some weird shit.
Wow. Holy hell.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, that's enough of that mess.
Wow. Well, that was entertaining for sure.
That was something. I'm not sure what, but it was something.
Seriously, you know what? Dark Matter 2525 should animate this shit.
Who's Dark Matter 2525?
Oh, dude, look him up on YouTube. He kicks ass. Or, Sci-10 Atheist is another good animator. Both of them would, really turn this into some kick-ass shit. Oh.
But
right.
it would have to have, the soundtrack would have to be, you've seen Pink Floyd's The Wall, right?
Oh, many, many, many times.
Okay, well, you know where the animated figures are just transforming themselves, and it's that type music. That would have to be it, because that's the only thing that would fit with this.
Yes, absolutely. Or maybe some Doors music might work.
Yeah.
Some of their more obscure stuff would probably do the trick.
Yeah.
You know, Jim Morrison coming out, everyone's like, I am the Lizard King, you know.
This is the end, my beautiful friend. Yeah.
Because here comes the eagle, bitch.
Yeah.
And I love how it's a female fucking eagle, too, right?
Yeah.
I told you, we get blamed for everything. God damn it. So do you need me to say anything else?
Well, why don't you tell everybody about your podcast?
All right. Well, I am found every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on our Beyond the Trailer Park channel on YouTube. And live on Spreaker. You can find all the links at beyondthetrailerpark.com. We will be broadcasting live from Savannah on October 3rd. And I'm excited to say that we will be having a special episode on October 14th with Hemet Meta. That's at a weird time, so check out the website for that. And you can also find me Sunday mornings at 12:05 a.m. I know it's weird, but we're competing with Coast to Coast Radio, which is why, with the Shujin Tribble on Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Me and like 6 or 7 other people, and we just talk about whatever the hell we feel like talking about. So that's where you can find me. I have Facebook, Twitter at Heretic Woman. But if you go to beyondthetrailerpark.com, you can find all the pertinent information.
And I'll have links to all that in the show notes. So.
Awesome.
Because, not that there's going to be much else in the show notes, because there's nothing really comprehensible about this.
It's like, we read some really weird shit, and we aren't really sure what, so here it is.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of The Atheist in the Trailer Park Podcast. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, as well as just about anywhere else podcasts can be found. Many of the episodes are also on YouTube. Follow the show on Twitter. @TParkAtheist is the show's Twitter handle. It's on Facebook at facebook.com/trailerparkatheist.com. If you happen to like the podcast, please rate it on iTunes. If you'd like to support the podcast, there's a donate button on the show notes page. You can support it via Patreon at patreon.com/TNTucker. Thanks for listening.
Say goodnight, Fosnots.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
Damned cat.